Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Proverbs of Praise. I'm super excited to be with y'all. I am in the hot sun, y'all. And you really know I love you because I love the sun though, I do. But it is beautiful out here. It is during the quarantine time, so whenever you're watching this, y'all, okay? It's been interesting around here. But let's get straight into it. So, as you can tell from the title, we're going to get a little personal today. Binge eating disorder, also known as BED, B-E-D, is actually the most popular eating disorder. And let me read. I'm reading straight from the National Eating Disorder Association. And so it defines binge eating disorder, or BED, is a severe, life-threatening, and treatable eating disorder characterized by recurrent episodes of eating large quantities of food, often very quickly and to the point of discomfort, a feeling of loss of control during the binge, experiencing shame, distress, or guilt afterwards, and not regularly using unhealthy purging measures to counter the binge eating. It is the most common, as I said, eating disorder in the United States. And so I would love to share a little bit of my story, how I've been dealing with this eating disorder, and then specifically what I've been doing to kind of work through it. As you heard, it is treatable, so that is good news. It is good news. So just a little bit about my story. I feel like I've always had a complicated relationship with food. I felt like I was the only person who had to really watch what they ate. I felt like everybody could just, do them and eat whatever. And I was the one out here having to really figure out, like, okay, how is this going to affect me and all of these things. And so that was exhausting. As I shared in the definition that it can be a source of shame. So I definitely found myself at times hiding what I was eating, hiding different foods, and being afraid to I didn't even know what was going on. It was normal for me. And so it was definitely in these different cycles. So as I've done the personal work to kind of define the why for me, the major reasons that I binged. So also I want to clarify, as I stated in the definition, purging can be part of that. So purging is literally going to throw up your food. I never purged any of my food, so it caused me to often have my weight fluctuated. And so the triggers for me were, one, feeling wanting to numb. I felt like there are a lot of things that were going on in my life, and I wanted to numb and not feel what was going on. Not only not feel what was going on, but also not feel the heavy emotion that came with it. I didn't think that I could handle it, and so food was an easy way for me to feel, like any addiction, to not feel the feelings, and it made it feel more comfortable and easier. So I thought, temporarily, right? And so, yeah, so to numb, but also a sense of control, as I shared in the definition. It can feel like you're losing control. There are areas of my life where I didn't have a say, that similar to what we're going through now with Corona, right? Potential job losses, you don't really have control over that. When we get to go back outside in the world and socialize, we don't have control over that. And for me, it was a way to, okay, like, I get to control. No one can tell me how much food I can eat, what I can eat. And so it made it feel like I had some sense of control in my life. Those are the things that triggered me. I would say a turning point for me was in college. I remember being at this place where I literally was eating flour and sugar mixed together. I don't know why. It was a craving, right? And so I literally mixed those things together, and I was like, okay, something is wrong here, sis, because this is unlike you. Like, this is not... You ain't even making nothing. What's going on? So as I began to do my own research and try to understand what was going on, I actually came across, or actually a family member, there's a huge spider right over there, but I'm going to act like that's not even there. I'm going to focus. Yes, I am. So a family member actually told me about Food Addicts Anonymous. So similar to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. This is weekly meetings. Folks come and talk about their different experiences and their struggles. This was a great starting point for me. Ultimately, I did not continue in this program for a number of reasons. One, because they were very amongst like their processes and things like that. And again, if this is what you do or this works for you, awesome. I'm all about figuring out what works best for you. This just did not work for me. It was very restricting. What they allowed you to eat and not to eat was just so unnatural for me. It wouldn't have worked, and so I chose not to continue with that. But it was a great start for me to learn, like, one, I'm not alone. There are other people experiencing the same thing, and how do I need to continue to research this thing? So that's my starting point. From there, I was just able to kind of figure out what I needed. I know my triggers are, one, like I said before, feeling like I'm being restricted, and then my other trigger is also talking about just weight in general. I often refrain from like discussing that type of stuff just because it's very personal to me, and it's not up for discussion, you know, and you can have those boundaries for yourself. And so that's a little bit about my story, where I'm at now. So often binges, just explaining for those of you actually who don't suffer from this, maybe somebody in your life does, or you're just wondering what it looks like. A bit about how those binges looked for me specifically. I would eat like large bags, like the family bag of chips, and then feel these just overwhelming feelings of guilt, of shame, right? Because I would be trying to numb emotion, and not even just numb, sometimes celebrate. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, whatever the emotion was. That was my comfort. That was a way for me to comfort myself. And so I would do that, but then feel horrible that I was doing it and feel out of control while I was doing it, and then do it again because I didn't want to feel that way, or that it was comforting for that amount of time. So I'm sure you're wondering, where are you now, sis? What's going on, right? I told you a bit about my story, and so here's how I'm at now. I've been in recovery, I guess, if you want to call it, right? That would be the technical term, but just trying to learn about it. So I've been doing that one through therapy, really accessing those deep emotions about and views that I have around food and why I do it. I've also, if you're not able to do therapy, I will leave some links below for some articles that would be good areas to jumpstart your education of binge eating disorder. Or if I've said anything that resonates with you, go look it up, right? Also, this is probably backwards, but I found this book called In Emotional Eating. It is by Jennifer Tights, and she is a doctor, and so she has lots of education. This is a great start. There's really like exercises and all types of stuff in here, y'all, for you to literally go in here and really delve deep. I'm not gonna lie, this makes you go deep, y'all, okay? So take your time. Don't feel like you need to do everything right away, but this is a great tool. It practices and focuses on cognitive behavioral therapy, so a great tool. Also, just having people to talk to about it, being honest with friends that can hold you accountable when you are going through things. And I have been just committing to celebrating myself, you know, right here as I am right now. And yeah, it definitely hasn't been easy. I have more good days than I have bad days. And I've been journaling. I actually found this, I'm a journaler. I don't have my journal with me, but literally I love journaling. It's been so therapeutic for me. But lately, I don't know, I've just been like, not in a rut. There were times where I literally journaled every day, multiple times a day. I haven't just had the desire to do that in a while, I would say in the past year. So I found this new app. I would sporadically journal and things like that. But I found this new app. I'm going to put it in the description box. It's been great. It's exciting for me to journal again. You can take video, you can do voice recordings, you can do photos, you can type things. It's really cool. Of different options there, so you should definitely look into that. But yes, that's kind of where I am right now. I hope it helps somebody, just sharing with you what's going on with me and things that I'm working on and working through. And if you can relate to anything I shared, or you think somebody can, please share this video with them or comment below. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to also be making another video specifically about how I'm dealing with eating disorders in this time of quarantine. So please look out for that very soon. Thank you. Bye.